BPB's 2018 NAMM show coverage is sponsored by Loopmasters and Plugin Boutique.
Hi everybody, I'm Bubba with Korg USA here at the 2018 NAMM show, and we have the Waldorf Quantum. The Waldorf Quantum is the flagship synthesizer to end all flagship synthesizers, if you ask me, in my own unvarnished opinion. It is Waldorf's attempt at making the only synthesizer that could ever compete with a modular. So to back that claim up, I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. Starting on the left side of the panel, we have 3 LFOs on the panel and then another 3 in software. They're freely assignable. There's a 40 position modulation matrix in this synthesizer, so you can do anything. So you got, like I said, 3 LFOs. Then we've got 3 oscillators. I'm going to come back to the oscillators in a second because they're real deep, and then I'm going to show you some sounds from the oscillators. You have this gigantic, ultra-responsive, beautifully designed touchscreen. Then we have our little oscillator mixer and a glide control. Dual analog filters, and the dual analog filters are in parallel with each other. And then there's this thing called the digital former, which is a really, really fun, useful effect for giving you more options. You know, dual analog filters, that's pretty darn powerful. Having this extra digital filter that's modulatable and able to do just so much more is amazing. It is a really, really a wonderful step forward. You've also got the ability to route the digital filter and the digital former and the 2 analog filters, and you can run them series, you can run them in series, you can run them in parallel, you can run them in different orders. It's very, very nice, very, very flexible, very powerful. And then to modulate those filters and to do more modulation, there's 3 envelopes generators on the front panel and another 3 in software. There's also a complex modulator, and the complex modulator gives you kind of everything else. It gives you really, really detailed, extreme modulation waveform generation capabilities. There's the ability to do things like entropy, which gives you kind of a noisy effect, and it gives you some non-linearities thrown into otherwise clean waves. You can morph things around. You can really do a lot of awesome tone shaping just with that. And we've got last couple things on this side of the panel. We've got 3 sets of controls for effects, and then there's another 2 sets of effects in software. So there's up to 5 effects on each of your 8 voice multi-timbral layers. And then there's a compressor, and there's a master volume knob. So there's a lot of stuff around the oscillators, but going back to the oscillators, this is where a lot of the really, really big excitement that I'm seeing at the show is coming from with this. So we've got 3 stereo digital oscillators, each capable of running different synthesis algorithms independently of one another. So the first algorithm you have available is a wavetable algorithm. It's a Waldorf synth. It's probably going to have wavetables, you know. So this is a Waldorf PBG descendant wavetable that sounds amazing. Has a ton of beautiful visualization options on this lovely screen that I was mentioning. Lots of great wave shades, lots of great options for being expressive with wavetable synthesizers in a way that has been extremely difficult up to this point, and much harder to access. The second synthesis method available is called waveform, and these are your classic subtractive analog style waveforms, but with all the fixins. You've got the ability to set different pitches within each of those oscillators. So within these 3 oscillators, you can actually make them create up to 12 different pitches by setting the different semitone intervals between the copies of the waveform and doing detuning and all things like that. There's also waveform morphing, which gives you some really, really fun changes to the sound, gives you some wonderful harmonics and shifts and things. We got the particle mode, which gives you granular sampling and sampling. There you can take samples in using the audio inputs on the unit, or there's an SD card interface where you can load wave files. You can really get into this thing and do a lot of tone shaping. You can resample. You can create your own wavetables in the wavetable mode. And the final mode of synthesis available in the different oscillators is the resonator. And the resonator gives you some Karplus strong influenced filtered noise style pinging filter kind of resonant frequency synthesis, and that is absolutely wonderful. That's another one that's just got beautiful visualization, that looks gorgeous, that you can look at on the screen, and you can twiddle knobs, and you can watch the spectra change. So without any further ado, I'm going to pull up a couple of presets, and I'm going to show you what each of these different oscillator types sounds like. As you can see, this is really responsive, it's really nice and easy to use, it's very, very fast. You got a lot of presets in it already and more coming. So to start with, we'll show you the all 3 preset. And if you look over here at the oscillator section, there's actually a bunch of different synthesis methods selected. So to get things started, I'm going to turn off the wavetable, turn off the waveform, and we'll just show you what the resonator sounds like and what it looks like on the panel. Should put the headphones on so I can hear what I'm doing. So that's your resonator, your nice, interesting bell tones, a lot of really crispy, clear stuff, a lot of beautiful ringing, and just gorgeous sound that has been really difficult to get. And these synthesis methods have not been accessible in a polyphonic synthesizer that's this clean and easy to use, maybe ever, but if not in a long time. So this is a huge step forward for synthesists who like to play, like me. So next we're going to show off the waveform, which is our classic subtractive waves. And to show this off, I'm actually going to switch over to the sawtooth wave so that I can warp it around and show you my favorite of the Quantum's wave shaping modes. So if you look at on the screen, this sawtooth wave looks like a sawtooth wave, but then I can warp it until it becomes a square wave. Or go the other way until it becomes an octave up through wave multiplication and interesting wave shaping. So I just think it's awesome that the synthesizer gives us the ability as synthesists to mess around with such interesting capabilities and things that are so extreme. And you can modulate all of this. Like I said, there's a 40 position modulation matrix, so you can route kind of anything to anything. So the last synthesis method I'll show you with this patch is called wavetable. And so this is the one that we've all been looking forward to, and it's gorgeous. All right, so that's the wavetable engine, and now I'm going to change the presets and go over to something a little bit different. And we're going to hear the particle engine, which gives us our sampling and our granular at work. as you can see, there's just a lot of options here, and there's a lot of flexibility, and there's a lot of tone, there's a lot of sound in this synthesizer, and I'm barely scratching the surface for you. So keep an eye out for it, look for it, contact us at Korg USA, look for it on the Waldorf website, and hope to see what you guys do with it real soon, because I know that everybody out there is going to come up with something different.